friends, I want to welcome you to this community and to the Hongera Financial Solutions YouTube page, where we talk about everything concerning managing your personal finances, straight from budgeting to tracking your expenses to paying off your debt, also on how to invest in order to multiply your income in order to hit your net worth goal so you can attain financial freedom. For those who have subscribed, thank you. And if you've not yet subscribed, I want to kindly request you to hit the subscribe button. You might as well want to hit the notification button so you don't miss out on any future videos that I'll be posting. Have you ever been in a situation where an event occurs in your life? You can call it an emergency. This situation requires a big sum of money from you, which you do not have because, it's an emergency, you're not prepared, or you've spent the salary from your last paycheck and your next paycheck is days and days away. My name is Josie, and today I want to share with you why you need an emergency fund and also how you can build an emergency fund with a minimum of $1,000, that is roughly 3.7 million Ugandan shillings, by Christmas this year. In this video, first I will recap what an emergency fund is and how much money you need to have in your emergency fund. Now, I earlier shared this information in a video on my Instagram page. If you've not yet watched it, I have shared the link to the video in the description. You can go to Instagram, and while you're there, be sure to follow. Secondly, I will share why you need an emergency fund, because I am certain that many of you are still in doubt and are still on the fence. Now, I know many of you will have a lot of questions concerning this concept. I want you to type them in the comment section as you watch the video, and I will be sure to answer them. So, first, let's recap. What's an emergency fund? An emergency fund is basically an asset which you build over time with cash set aside for unexpected events like car repairs. It can be a medical bill, it can be money that you need to take care of your loved one. How much money then do you need to have in your emergency fund? I am glad you asked. Typically, your emergency fund should have 3 to 6 times your monthly expenses. However, I must mention that after the economic crisis during the lockdown, experts moved this number to 12 times your monthly expenses. However, since we are just starting out on this journey, we shall go with the number 6. So this is what I mean. If your monthly expenses are 3 million, this means that you should have in your emergency fund 3 times 6 million Ugandan shillings, which is 18 million Ugandan shillings. So I always say that the goal is for you to invest your income so that it can multiply in order for you to hit your net worth goal and be able to attain financial freedom. Now, I know that in Uganda, the word net worth is almost taboo. We don't talk about it. Our parents didn't teach us about it, and neither did we learn it in school. But I want us to normalize knowing what our net worth is. Now, what do I mean by net worth? Net worth is simply your total assets minus your total liabilities. Now, assets can be cash, property, equity or shares, or investment in fixed income securities, for example, treasury bonds, treasury bills, and fixed deposits. While liabilities can be mortgages, loans, or debt of any form. Now, let's say you've been consistent with your investment journey, and across your investment portfolio, you've accumulated a net worth of roughly 100 million, and an emergency occurs in your life that necessitates you to have about 20 million in cash. Now, if you don't have this money in an emergency fund, what will you do? You guessed right, you're going to be forced to liquidate your net worth. You may see this as an okay thing, but it's actually not if you're serious about financial independence, because when you do that, you take yourself steps backwards and further away from financial freedom. So now I hope it is very clear to you that if you're serious about improving and bettering your financial position, an emergency fund is a must-have. I hope we are together so far. We now know what an emergency fund is, how much money you should have in it, and why you need one. But how do you build one, you ask? I will share with you the steps you're going to take to build your emergency fund. Step 1, determine your monthly expenses. Step 2, multiply this figure by 6. The figure you get is how much you need to build towards in your emergency fund. Step 3, determine where you're going to put your emergency fund money. The best place to put your emergency fund money is where it will grow and multiply and be hedged against inflation. Now, already you can see that a savings account in the bank is not the best place to put your emergency fund money because of inflation. So where do you put the money, you ask? One of the best places in which to grow your emergency fund is in a unit trust fund. What's a unit trust fund, you ask? A unit trust fund is an investment scheme that pools money or contributions from investors, that is you or me, and these funds are used to purchase a portfolio of financial securities such as treasury bonds, treasury bills, equity or shares, cash, bank deposits, and so on. The unit trust fund portfolio is managed by a fund manager. So when I posted this video about emergency funds on my Instagram page, someone asked if they can grow their emergency fund in a regular savings account in the bank. So you may be wondering, why unit trust funds and not my bank account? Typically, unit trust funds have a higher annual rate of return than your savings account in the bank. So what happens is when you put your money in a unit trust fund, it grows and multiplies by the concept of compound interest, which basically means that the interest you earn on your money also earns interest, and it grows and multiplies passively. So we now know that we need to put our emergency fund money in a unit trust fund. But how do you open a unit trust fund? Now, I personally grow my emergency fund in a unit trust fund with UAP, specifically their umbrella trust fund. The UAP umbrella trust fund has a bias towards fixed income securities like corporate notes, treasury bonds, fixed and call deposit, meaning that the risk profile is low and I am guaranteed capital preservation, which basically means that my principal remains intact. Step 4 is to now consistently make monthly contributions to your emergency fund, and you do this by making monthly deposits to the unit trust fund. Now, I strongly advise that you automate this process. Why? It will help you be consistent, and also it will save you the burden of having to fight the temptation whether to make the contributions or not. So how are you going to do this? You are going to set up a standing order from your bank account to wire the money directly and automatically into your unit trust fund. So we have covered a lot, and it's time to take action, because what I've shared with you is all just information until you implement it. Now, to help you with the implementation journey and also to keep you accountable, I want you to join the 3.7 million Ugandan shillings emergency fund by Christmas challenge. This is how it's going to work. first, you need to open up your unit trust fund with UAP. Now, if you're ready to open up your unit trust fund with UAP, I need you to send me a message with the words emergency fund on the number flashed on your screen, and I will help you get started on the process to open your unit trust fund with UAP. Secondly, you're going to deposit 340,000 Ugandan shillings every month into your unit trust fund. Now, I know you're thinking, where on earth am I going to get 340,000 every month? This is what we are going to do. It's very easy. I am going to concurrently run another challenge on all my social media platforms linked in the description box, where we shall be tracking our expenses daily and commenting how much we've spent daily. The aim of this is to keep you accountable and help you eliminate wasteful spending daily, so that now you can start to move all the money that you have saved every day into your emergency fund. So be sure to follow on any social media platform of your choice so that you can stay accountable. So once you've followed through with the emergency fund challenge, this is what your emergency fund will look like by Christmas. Please note that an average interest rate of 11.5% has been used, and also take note that the interest rates fluctuate based on market variations. The last step in the 3.7 million Ugandan shillings emergency fund by Christmas challenge is for you to follow all my social media platforms, where I will be sharing your progress on a monthly basis, so you can see how far you've come, how well you're doing, so that you can congratulate yourself. Okay, we have covered quite a bit. You now know what an emergency fund is, how much money you need to have in your emergency fund, why you need an emergency fund, and most importantly, you now know what to do in order to take action. If you start now and follow through with the challenge, you will grow your emergency fund to a minimum of 3.7 million Uganda shillings by Christmas, and we shall say, Hongera, congratulations. We've come to the end of our video for today. See you in the next video.